So there's a phenomenon online where a lot of white nationalists, white supremacists, neo-Nazis, people in this political square will sometimes have K-On profile pictures, these shawties. It's either her or her. I don't know any of their names, but ever since the dawn of the internet in 2010, these poor women have been subjected to photoshops with Hitler, swastikas, the whole nine yards, and I always thought it was just a funny, good, funny meme, like wholesome anime girls juxtaposed against one of the worst human beings in history, and this was originally done on 4chan as a means of trolling new members who were just coming to discuss their favorite moe anime and argue over Best Girl, only to find out that Best Girl is now a fascist. But now it seems like less of a joke. It seems like the previously ironic alt-right shitposting has become less ironic, or maybe it was never fully ironic in the first place. Perhaps the K-On! And Adolf fan bases have always overlapped a little bit. Of course, not everyone with a K-On! Profile picture is racist. I would hate if somebody assumed I was racist just because I liked K-On! What would be even worse is if someone assumed I liked K-On! Just because I'm racist. Now, I haven't seen K-On! Before. I put it on my plan to watch list like 8 years ago, and then I spent the next 8 years watching better anime. It never looked bad, I just wasn't sure what my incentive was. Like, what made K-On! Different from the other anime about cute girls doing cute things? Why not watch Nichijou, or Nanan Biori, or Lucky Star, or Azumanga Daioh, or Elfen Lied? But now I have my incentive, and that's to gather a better understanding of the connection between K-On! And racism. Why would it be K-On! Specifically that the alt-right has latched onto? Why not K, or Hellsing Ultimate, or Attack on Titan, or their least favorite show, Darker Than Black? Does K-On! Make people Nazis, or does it just attract Nazis? And if so, why? Will I come out of this show a Nazi? Probably not, and due to me being biracial, it would be hard for me to be a Nazi, but Nazis seem to disavow everybody except white people and Asian women, so if I was a Nazi, I'm sure I could still find a group to dislike. There's a lot of room for all kinds of people in online racist communities, so long as you're as racist as everybody else. I'll be documenting my journey and keeping you all up to date on my racism levels between each episode. We'll be using this racism meter to track my racist evolution or lack thereof. Hopefully I'll come out of this with a better grasp on why white supremacists love a show that doesn't have any white people in it. Okay, so I have finished one episode of K-On! I'm not really getting racist vibes from anyone except this girl. I don't know why her, she just seems to be the type like, oh, well, you see, I'm not racist, but there's just, well, for safety reasons, I do cross the street when I see a black person. Like, I could see her saying something like that. I don't know why. I think she's rich, but that's not why. This one, Mio, she's definitely not racist because she knows who Jimi Hendrix is. Their club is called the Light Music Club, which was kind of racist, like light. so no dark people allowed? Okay, pretty racist, I figured. I can see why Nazis would like this. But then I realized a lot of Jewish people would still be allowed in, so that kind of discounted my theory. The show is kind of funny so far. The harmonica joke made me laugh, and anime usually never makes me laugh. But I don't think Nazis like the show because it's funny. After all, I can name plenty of funny black and Jewish people, so I don't think it's the show's humor that connects it to fascism. I see the appeal of the show overall, though. The premise is obviously simple, but I like Yui. I think she has ADHD, and that's not why I like her, but it helps. The voice acting is good, I like the music, and I was more entertained than I thought I would be. However, I don't have any problems with Jewish people so far. I also noticed that the show is PG-13, so if you believe in, like race realism and stuff like that, you might be too young to be watching. Alright, I'm done with episode 2, and my suspicion about Mugi being rich is true, although I guess it was pretty obvious with her fast food comment in episode 1. It was kinda weird that the girls all got jobs to help chip in for Yui's guitar, but then Mugi just nepotismed her way into lowering the price, which kind of nullified their hard work. This might seem like a writing mistake, but truly it is social commentary on the flawed rhetoric of picking yourself up by your bootstraps and how you're probably better off befriending somebody with $1,000 boots. The system is rigged, thanks K-On! This seems like more of a leftist point, or at least a non-fascist point, since race often intersects with the advantages and disadvantages of making important connections and knowing the right people, so I'll be staying here on the meter for now. Episode 3 had some low-hanging fruit that I ignored. I'm far too old to be making 69 jokes. I thought the episode 4 was going to be a beach episode, which made me feel a little bit racist. Not for any particular race-related reason, I just really hate beach episodes. Thankfully, it wasn't entirely a beach episode, and they did spend some time playing their instruments. Although at this point, I kind of feel like Yui's guitar improvements are a sort of a hyperbolic time chamber, since they haven't really shown much of her progress, but whatever. I know it's K-On! You're supposed to turn your brain off a little bit, but I'm just too smart for K-On! I like good anime, like Freon Leviticus Evangelism and Serial Excrements Lane. My IQ is just far too high for this trash. A lot of fascists claim to be super high IQ, which I also just did, so that might make me a little bit more racist. Episode 5 was kind of cool. We got introduced to this teacher who used to be like super into music and stuff, and now she has kind of resigned herself to the proper feminine role of docility and demurity and other words that aren't real. Her story is she used to have a crush on this guy, and when she confessed to him, he told her that he actually preferred girls who were a little bit more like out there, a little bit more alternative. So she got into the whole punk personality type thing, but then he told her that she took it too far, and now she has kind of reverted back, which was an interesting plot point because a similar thing happened to me in high school. I've had girls change themselves for me and go a little bit too far, you know. There was this one time a girl asked me out, and I told her, I don't like when women make the first move. I prefer bitches to make me work for that pussy. And she put a restraining order on me, which was more work than I'd been hoping for. If I learned anything from that experience, it's that cops are really annoying, which actually makes me less racist. Back we go. I kind of got bored by the end of this episode. I started to think maybe Nazis liked this show because it's so boring that their mind just starts wandering to Holocaust denial. Episode 6 was a little more fun. They finally performed in front of the school, which made me pay attention. In the music video, they had my dad swapping out the band's advertisement flyer with a wanted picture, which I can only imagine implies that he thought their music was so bad that he wanted them arrested. Some cop cars show up to arrest the 4 girls, but their music has already amassed a giant crowd of ethnicities and cultures that Japan would never let into their country unless they had an MD. It felt nice to see so many different people come together and enjoy some music, which made me even less racist. At the end of their performance, Mio trips on a cord and her panties get exposed to the crowd, which reminded me of the origin of pantsu and how it actually came into the anime and manga sphere as a result of Western influences. Cultures impacting other cultures is the antithesis to what many fascists desire, and the show's demonstration of this made me even less racist. I thought after watching the first half of the show I would start to understand at least a little bit why Nazis liked it, but really it's having the opposite effect. Alright, we're past episode 9 now. As soon as I saw this girl, I knew she was going to join the club and be way more talented than the rest of them, and I was right. Good job, K-On! Sorry that I skipped a couple episodes. My position on the meter has remained stable. And you know, usually I would be disappointed predicting a cliche like this, you know, like the writing was extremely predictable, but, you know, something about it makes me feel so secure. Like, this is K-On! We're all in this together. We know what's going to happen, and then it happens. It feels nice. I like it. In episode 10, the prodigy girl Azusa, she gets called burnt after she gets sunburned, which made me think, you know, am I burnt? Burnt, eh? Burnt? A little spicy there. Thankfully, a few minutes later, the teacher, Sawako, says that she can't tell the difference between these two, meaning she can't see color, saving the show from any and all racist accusations. And you know, just every episode, one after the other, it just makes me feel so happy. Like whenever I see these people interacting with each other, just having so much fun, just enjoying their time together, and I feel like I'm getting even less racist as we go. Just it's quite beautiful. In the final few episodes, Yui forgets her guitar at home, but then gets it at the last minute to play a superb jam at their school. And I watched these episodes on 1.5 speed, but I think I understood everything. I think I understand everything. Everything in this show is it's just so perfect, you know? All conflicts are resolved within about 5 minutes. And that's nice. That's comfy. There's no crime. There's no drugs. Just a perfect wholesome society made up of the same types of people. It's just so cozy. 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 I get it! I get it. So I began this video wondering why white nationalists would love a show that doesn't have any white people in it. And at the end I've realized that they love this show because there are no white people in it. Or black people, or Jews, or any other race besides Asian, except in this, metaphorical music video. Japanese society is extremely homogeneous, homologous, homozygotic, homosexual. No, that's England, sorry. And if you want to live there as a foreigner, you'll need to be a neurocardiothoracic surgeon who reads Japanese upside down. And I think a lot of people who would consider themselves auth-right are in support of this racial homogeneity, and their ideal country is mostly comprised of one race with a strong sense of nationalism taking precedent over any sort of individualism. Now, Japan is obviously not a fascist society, but anime's presence in the West, as well as Japan's 98.5% pure ethnic population, has brought it to the attention of many internet Nazis. Japan is still, of course, far from a perfect society. Their work culture is kind of fucked, the birth rate is abysmal. Immigration could probably easily solve the latter, but the day Japan allows mass immigration is the day North Korea allows mass emigration. Heian, however, Heian is a perfect society. It's cute, it's wholesome, it's Japanese, and Japanese only. I did not like the dub. The dub was shit. And racist weebs have latched onto Heian as a representation of Japanese society. And it's not, but I think the worship of Japan's homogeneity in tandem with K-on's problem-free atmosphere is why Nazis might like K-on specifically. Still, I'm not entirely sure why K-on is the anime to represent this. Why not Fruits Basket? There's a lot of other cute, perfect, wholesome anime that feature only Japanese people. I wasn't really in the anime scene when K-on aired in 2009, but it seems like it really caught on as the moe anime. All the characters played their part in helping this out, I'm sure, and maybe I'm biased, but I think Yui might have been the most important. Yui isn't your average Japanese citizen. She's clumsy, she's lazy, she just kinda barely skirts by in life, and that's extremely frowned upon in Japan, more so than in America or in most places in the West. But even she has a happy ending. Even she can experience a fulfilling high school life, and I think that in and of itself kind of ties the show together a little bit. Perhaps if a different moe anime airing at the time had shot into the spotlight for different or similar reasons, that would be the anime associated with online racism, but unfortunately for K-on, it won the rat race. Anyway, this was secretly a K-on review, and I give K-on a 6 out of 10. It's probably objectively a 10 out of 10 because there weren't really any flaws, but also nothing happened, so yeah, watch Nichijou instead. Yui is best girl, and I'm best boy. Peace out, Waddle Gang, nationwide, gang. I hope that's not a gang side.